Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. That's me, Krishi, and today I'm going to be doing the second part of JavaScript tutorial. So we're actually going to be talking a little bit more about the basic concepts and a little bit related to math. Yeah, but this is going to be very easy for you guys. So yeah, let's just get into the video without any further ado and make sure that you have liked the video, shared it with your friends, and subscribed to my channel. So yeah, let's go. So first we're going to be talking about some arithmetic operators and they're going to be really easy for you guys. So let me just show you an example. Let's just start with a very basic of adding two things. So there's actually two methods in which you can do this. I'm going to start with the first one. So this is the console.log and I'm going to print x. So that is the sum of those two numbers which I have given over here. There's another method of doing the same thing where you will get the same output. So we're going to have variable y and this is going to be equal to 30. And now we're going to have x plus y. And let's see if this works out. So yeah, you have the same output and let's just try changing the numbers a little bit for a little bit of more idea. Okay, let's just do subtraction for a bit now. So I'm just going to change the symbol over here and yeah, we're good to go. Now the output changes to being 10. So this was an addition and subtraction, but we have many more to go and we have those basic multiplications. Just perform the same thing with this. I have the output and the very basic one, which is division. This is also possible with very big numbers, but here for your understanding, I'm using the very little ones. Next up, we have the modulus. So modulus is actually something which people find difficult. So a modulus is, it actually divides two things and gives the remainder to us. So it works in a way like, let's say, I have 21 and we have 10. We're going to have the modulus symbol over here. And as you can see, if we divide 21 with 10, you have a whole number remainder, which is 1. Okay, let's just try it with a little number, let's say 2. And here, let's say, have 5. So it's like better to understand. Again, we have 1 because if you divide 5 with 2 people, you have 1 remainder. So that's how modulus works. But we have a lot more to go. There are actually 2 more things which are increment and decrement. So what is increment? Now let me just tell you. So increment is when you add the, okay, now I'm just going to use an example over here. Variable x is equal to 3, let's say. And later in my next step, I'm going to have console.log x, and we're going to use the increment symbol, which is plus. So I couldn't have done that over here. Let's just do it over here. So that was actually a mistake. Now we have x plus. And now let's try doing the same thing. So let's see if this works or not. After the defining of the variable, I just used the increment thing and I got the second output over here. Okay, for better one, I'm just going to remove this one and let's see. So it is directly incrementing its value and then it's going to be printed. For now, you might be thinking this is a very basic one, but you're going to use this later on where you're going to be using conditional loops. This is very useful for that. Now, in the same way, we also have the decrement, now which obviously decreases the value by 1. So let's say we have this thing and decreases its value. Like it was 3 and it decreased to 2. We can use a very massive number as well. Like let's just have this. And the last element is going to change to 8. So yeah, that's how decrement and increment work. And now let's just do the increment with the same whole number. and everything is gonna get increased by 1, and we have this as out. So that's how arithmetic operators work. Now let's just see some more. So yeah, now let's just talk about some assignment operators. So we have 5 of them, and they are very basic ones. So they're actually very like similar to the previous ones, but just a basic difference. So yeah, let's just start. First, we're going to define a variable which is x, and x value is going to be 5. And the variable y, whose value is going to be 4. It's going to be 4. Now we're going to be using the first one, which is x plus is equals to y. So we're going to have x plus equals to y. And now if you're going to print console.log x, okay, that's going to shift in the line below. Now let's just run and see if this works. Yeah. So as you can see, we have the output 9, which is absolutely correct, but you don't know how we got it. So let me just explain you. So this x plus equals y is getting expanded in the form of, okay, let me just use this thing. This gets expanded in the form of x is equal to x plus y. So this statement gets expanded in this form. So that's how this works. Now for the same way, if we have any of these, let's say this one is going to be x is equal to x divided by y. So that's how the thing changes if we have these assignment operators, if we are using them. So here in this case, x is equal to, this actually changes somewhat like this. I'm just going to write down. This is x is equal to x plus y. So here x is equals to the sum of x and y. Now in the same way, for the same thing, if we just subtract here, then this symbol is just going to change to subtract. That's it. Nothing else is going to change over here. X is equals to x minus y. That is, so the new value of x over here is going to be 1. Because here, as you can see, we've printed x. Now in the same way, if you're going to use multiply with the same numbers, and we're going to get 20 if you're right. So this symbol is just going to change to this one. So it's nothing, just the value of x is now the product of x and y. And if you divide, you're going to get a float answer if I'm not wrong. So let's just see how this works. We have 1.25. And in the same way, we're going to be using the modulus. So here, if you can guess the answer, it's going to be 1. Because if 5 is divided by 4, we have 1 left. So that's how assignment operators work. And you can actually use multiple assignment operators together. Now let me just give you a demo. So we have x is equal, okay, sorry. We have x plus equals to, okay, we have to define them. So we have variable x whose value is 20. Value is 20. And we have variable y whose value is 10. Now let's just do it. X plus equals to y, which is x is now equal to x plus y. So the new value of x over here is going to be the sum of 20 and 10, that is 30. But I am actually going to subtract something from this thing. And let's say we're going to subtract 10. And let's just see how this is going to turn out. So we have the console.log and we're going to print x. So the new value of x which we have gotten here is 20. Okay, let's just change this number over here to 1 because for understanding purpose. So here, how this gets expanded is, I'll just show you. Okay, So this thing gets expanded. Okay, so the value of x is 20 and we add a 10 to it because the value of y is 10. That gets expanded like that, and we have to subtract 1. So we have 1. This is a 20, okay? So that's how this thing gets expanded, where 20 plus 10, if we take this, is 30. And 30 minus 1 is obviously the answer. So that's how using multiple of these assignment operators is gonna work. So yeah, now let's just look at the next concept. So yeah, next we have the comparison operators. So these are actually used to compare two values. So let's just start with this. So here we have to again give out two variables. So let's say one of them is 20 and let's say the other one is 30. Okay, it should be 30. So in this case, we have to, okay, for the first one we have to check that x equals to y. So what it is actually is, okay, so if we're using 1 equals to, what happens is, let's say, if we use it in this case, it's just going to make the value of x equal to y, which means that the value of x is going to become 30. But if you're using this, then it means the computer is just going to check if the values of x and y are same or not. So let's just see how to do that. So unlike the other ones, we directly use them in the console.log. So let me just give you an example. So here we have the first one. And now let's just check if x and y are equal. Now by seeing we know they are not equal, but in some case where you don't know the values and you have to check if they are equal or not, you can use such things. So we have console.log and we're going to check if x is equals to y. So that's actually going to be a false because they are not equal. If one of the values would be this, then the other one is obviously going to be equal and the answer would be true. Now in the second case, we're going to check if x is not equal to y, which means if x is not equal to y. So in this case, it's true because the value of x is not equal to y. But if we change the value to be this, then it's going to be x is equal to y, which is a false for this case. Now we're going to check the identical and equal. So this is going to check if the values are identical as well as equal. So this case is going to be a true. But if I just change something, let's say I'm going to make it 30. Let's just see if this is going to be a true or false. It's a false because they are not identical. 20 and 30 aren't identical, right? Next, we have the not identical. So this is a symbol for not identical. We're going to have not identical over here. And this one is going to be a true because they are not identical. But in a case where these two are equal, this is going to be a false because they are identical. Sounds confusing, but yeah, it's very, very easy when you start using things. Next, we have the very basic greater than, lesser than, and stuff like that. The greater than. The greater than can be false in two and like a few possibilities. First one is when the value of x is less than y. Second one, when the values are equal. So they can be false in two possibilities. So in the first one, it's going to be a false because here, as you can see, we have x which is lesser than y. So you can see that x is lesser than y. But if I make the value of y lesser than x, then this is going to be a true. But what if both of these values are equal? Then it's going to be a false because it's not greater than. Then we have the greater than and equal. In this case, it's going to be a true because both of the values are either equal or greater. Then we have the same thing as lesser than and lesser than or equal to. So yeah, guys, that's it for today's video. If you like the video, just like, share, subscribe, comment down below, and press the notification bell. Thanks for watching.